Hi everyone, we are Group D. My name is Matthew Rodriguez.
My name is Isaac Payne.
My name is Jamaal Johnson.
My name is Schuyler Wheelhouse.
For my role, I was handling pricing and monitoring. I handled the pricing while monitoring which products sold well or struggled with our consumers.
I was in charge of production. I implemented a make-to-stock strategy, and my goal was to marginally reduce setup time and increase production capacity without investing too much money.
My role was marketing and expense planning, and I adjusted spending on advertising to increase our brand awareness.
I was in charge of replenishment, and I attempted the just-in-time inventory replenishment strategy.
So in the practice round, we had a few strategies. We produced the entire muesli product line. Originally, we thought this would be a great idea, but later on in our graded round strategies, which we'll talk about more later, we figured out that was a failure for us. We also marketed to multiple regions with high amounts of spending. We produced every kind of product without targeting a specific DC, ignored loan repayments and production investments. These are some things that we forgot about and had a silo effect as we were so concerned about other roles that we had, and we informally use a just-in-time procurement strategy.
For our graded round, we understood a little more about the nature of the game. And so for production, we specialized and eliminated several products and instead decided to sell 5 500-gram products and 3 1-kilogram products. We decided that we would use no more than half our spending on forecasting to maintain our storage capacity. And we decided to produce the same product our customers want 2 days in a row to maximize our production capacity, but to minimize our setup time. And we wanted to do this with a reasonable marginal investment. And so when increasing production capacity, there were marginal increases when it came to what we gained. And so we did an analysis on how much we would spend and would see if that was going to outweigh the benefits. And we stopped as soon as the cost started to outweigh the benefits. And then with our loan repayments, we decided to do several installments, and we just tried to keep our loans as low as possible, to keep our interest rates low, and to keep ourselves from accruing too much debt. And with replenishment, we decided that we would procure enough material upon replenishment in the future to have enough stock for the next round.
Alright, so some of the major lessons that we learned from the practice rounds is that we were spending a lot of money on marketing. We spent around 10 in each cardinal direction, and we realized that this was extremely high. So what we did is we spent less money on marketing in order to increase our profit margins. We needed to market only to those who wanted a specific product. Marketing affects shoppers in stores at different degrees of magnitude. So for different distribution channels, it made sense to market more, but for some of them, it made sense to market less. We also fell victim to the silo effect. Everyone was focused on trying to make their part work instead of communicating, and in the long run, it actually ended up hurting us. Another thing that we did is that we weren't as aggressive in pricing. Our lack of foresight in the procurement and production led to multiple stockouts. We ended up multiple times having not enough stock to provide our customers and meet demand, and we were unable to place orders, and we lost days to create sales.
All right, so some of the major lessons learned from the graded rounds. Loan repayment helped us maintain our spending and helped increase profit margins due to increase of interest. Also, using the mirror chart allowed us to use to see which pricing was best for our selected products sold. We ramped up our reorder points. Initially, we was placing our orders upon depletion, but we decided to place our orders no later than day 14. we understood that we have to be careful not to go over capacity in the event that we may have incur an additional cost. Finished goods, we noticed was coming in one item at a time, and they were also coming in portions. It affected us both positively and negatively. Positively in the event that it provided stock for the next round, but negatively in the event that it slowed down our sales. Reducing our market spending allowed us to increase our profit margins due to high demand and low supply of the market. Products generally sold with little to no marketing expense.
So as you can see here, this is a Lumiere chart that we have. We have our quantities sold by net price and material label, and this helped us with our pricing strategy. For example, we can look at our finished goods, and let's look at 1K blueberry muesli, for example. As you can see, it was sold at the $3 price range, the $3.77 price range, and also as well at the $5.26 price range. This allowed us to see what type of price range we could price these products at. As you can see, for the $3.77 price range, we sold the most for that product, but over here for $5.26, we also sold a significant amount as well for this higher price. So this allowed us to see how much we can sell, but also at what price range we can do it. So this gave us an idea on how to price certain products.
All right, so in round one, we experienced some technical difficulties that was preventing us from placing an order. As a result, we wasn't making any sales, and that explains why our sales are so low as compared to our competitors. Also, we ignored our loan repayment, and as a result, our credit rating is A minus, and because we wasn't placing no orders and didn't have no raw materials, we couldn't produce no goods. So our productivity is also very low.
All right, so for round 1 and 2, we realized in between that we needed to increase our loan repayments. And one thing that did was it also made our credit rating better, which in turn lowered our interest rates. Another thing that you can notice is that our round productivity skyrocketed and almost doubled in comparison to round 1.
So these are rounds 3 and 4 of our graded rounds in the manufacturing game. And round 3 is where we started to figure out how we were operating as a company. And right at the end of round 2, we ordered a ton of raw materials. And we actually were over capacity in virtually every single type of finished good, raw materials, good, and any other type of good that we were holding. But this turned out to be kind of an advantage, because if you look at our round productivity, it is actually the highest that it ever was for any team in any round of this game. And so overstocking actually allowed us to produce so much that we produced more than any other team did at any point during this game. Some other points to note: we did not spend anything on marketing for the most part. We spent very little. We were actually 4th in spending in marketing. And down to round 4, you can see our round productivity went down a bit. That's because we were actually worried that we were incurring too much debt by having these overstocks. But that turns out that that was not the case, and that we actually lost productivity because of that.
So how SAP enabled process integration for our team, and what we learned using a hands-on approach. ERP helped our team by allowing us to become integrated together, and was rewarded good communication amongst teammates. It helped us know real-time information, such as tracking our inventory, for example. It allowed us to do quick decision-making, automated the most tedious parts of business processes, and ERP helped us give precise information for creating numeric charts. Some examples of how ERP actually might have hurt our team was that some of us were unfamiliar with software and difficult to pick up at first. It was difficult to continuously follow procedures to execute some actions. there wasn't much room for input error, and if one person was to struggle or didn't communicate as well with teammates, it could bottleneck other business processes and negatively impact teammates' roles.
Okay, so I have one question. So, how come you only offered those products in particular?
That's an excellent question, Jamal. Thank you for asking that question. So we looked at the ingredients that each one of the products had, and we didn't want to order too much of an ingredient that we didn't need. Well, we looked at the mixed ingredients, and we saw that we could eliminate an entire ingredient based off of that. So we went ahead and eliminated that entire product line. And then when looking at the distribution channels, we also wanted to target independent grocers, which only bought 500 gram products. So we decided to eliminate the 1 kg raisin and the 1 kg original, as the 1 kg original used too much of the ingredients that we needed for other products. And so that is why.
Thank you, sir. Alright, and okay, we could have a group bow, I guess, in the presentation.
No, I just want the video to cut out really abruptly.
We're gonna just cut it off.